Have you ever wondered how this camera angle right here is achieved? Well, on today's video, I'm going to explain it and many other camera angles that I use to make the best quality videos on YouTube. So whether you're into making videos or just like motorcycles and beautiful scenery, stick around because I'm about to show you some of my best stuff. Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. So just so you can get an idea of who I am, I've been making videos for over 3.5 years. It's almost going on 4 this coming January. I have a variety of motorcycles. I have this Electra Glide you can see here. I have a Softail Deluxe, which I call my Vicla, and I have an FXR. I also have a BMW GS and a few other bikes here and there that I don't ride that are just for collection. Anyhow, let's talk about today's video. Well, I've had many comments asking me how I get this shot. How did I get that angle? Well, today's video, I'm going to show you as well as explain to you how I get all those shots. It's a variety of equipment and angles that I put the camera on, and that's what we're going to talk about. So let's jump right into it. Now this 360 camera is the 2. My 360 camera is the Insta 360 1X2. This is the second iteration of this. They are up to number 4. They have a bigger screen and a few other updates which are really cool. My nephew has one. I have the 2. This is not a cheap camera. This is about $500 when I purchased it. It still works great. You guys have seen the videos. You guys have asked me how I get that wonderful shot that everybody loves of the side of the bike as I'm riding. And this is how I do it. Now, on other bikes, I can strap it to the front and it gives a much better shot. But because I have these lowers, they don't let me put it on the top of the crash bar, which is usually how I do it, and I run it straight out. I clamp it to the front with one of these. One of these here, I would clamp it to the front crash bar on the opposite side, because when you're riding it wants to go, because of the wind, it wants to push it that way. So if I strap it here but on the opposite side, it comes straight out. And then I usually put a little Velcro right here so that it doesn't go anywhere. And that is how I get it. And it comes out to about right here, which is about 3 feet away from the motorcycle. And that is the perfect shot to get a side shot. Now you have to be aware that when you're riding, you don't hit a mailbox or a car. You have to be very cognizant that this is sticking out that far, as you can see. So that is that. So here's the angle that so many of you really like. Now on this particular shot, I don't have it strapped to my crash bar as I previously stated. It's coming off of my back seat and it's angled towards the front, so it's at about my right knee but sticking out. Now something to observe is try to look for a shadow every once in a while where you see a stick coming out, and that's how you can tell they're using a 360 camera. Now, something I must explain about the 360 camera is how you edit it. So it's not the same as, let's say, a GoPro, which is also called an action camera. A 360 camera, when you record, you then have to edit it. And the way that you edit it is that you are able to choose what angle you want the viewer to see. For example, I am currently showing you the bike and the rider, but I have a 360 view that I can show you. I can show you anything. I can show you the sky. I can show you the opposite side. I can show you where the motorcycle is headed to. I can show you where the motorcycle has been. In other words, front or back. I can show any angle. I can show the ground and just the ground if I want. And that is all done in post-production. And the way I do it is I do it on my phone. It's time consuming. So if you're doing a 29-minute video, it takes you 29 minutes to edit it, because you have to go through the whole video at normal speed, and just as the video is continuing to roll, you are selecting what view, what angle you want to show. Now, in my case, why am I showing just the side of the motorcycle? Because I have other cameras mounted on my bike that show different angles. I have one pointed at me, and I have one pointed to the front. What's behind me is really not important. Now you can see me here grabbing the pole to make sure that it's not shifting on me. Okay, so what I was saying is that what's behind me is not important unless I pass something that is of interest, and then I will focus in on that. I will give you that angle. Now here's the perfect example of what I'm talking about. So in what you're seeing here, I have the camera angled towards the front of the bike so that it shows my whole body as well as the handlebars. It's a totally different angle than the side angle. Now on this particular day here, the Blue Angels were flying, and because I had my camera mounted on the front, I can break away from showing me to showing the Blue Angels doing a flyby over my head. Exactly what I had told them to do. Yuck, yuck, yuck. But this is the great advantage of having a 360 camera. You can pick whatever angle, whatever view, and this is here again, now I'm pointing to the front, whatever view you want to show, whatever is important. In this case here, I had two cameras, one pointed at me, you can see it there by my clutch lever, and the 360 camera at the front. And if you want to see, the 360 camera is really good at making the pole disappear, but if you look just in front of the headlight, you can see something that looks kind of strange. It doesn't fit, and that is part of the pole. The way I have it strapped, I actually have it secured there so that it doesn't fly around. That's a piece of Velcro. So 360 camera, in my opinion, if you can only get one camera and you want to get many angles, a good quality 360 camera is the way to go. Let's move on now to, I have two different drones. I have a Skydio drone. It is fully autonomous. Its job is to follow you and avoid obstacles. Top speed on this drone is approximately 35 miles per hour, depending on wind. On this day, this video here that you're going to see, it was a windy day, and it did a good job of keeping up. Now, when I say it avoids obstacles, it does not avoid wires like those you can see in front of the camera now. It does not avoid small branches and things like that. It will avoid trees, it will avoid buildings and large obstacles, but not thin stuff. It just can't pick it up. Now, how does it follow you? Well, this drone can be controlled three different ways. It can be controlled directly from your phone with the app. The other way it can follow you is with a beacon. A beacon kind of looks like a remote control, and it has a signal that the drone will follow, and that's what it's doing right now. I have a beacon at the top of my seat, actually between my seat and the tank, and you'll see me look down once in a while and redirect the drone. So the third option is a regular remote control for drones, and that really does not enable the drone to follow you. That is more for you to show scenery and landscapes and control the drone in the air. For that, I have a specific drone. That's a total different drone that I'll be showing you. Anyhow, the Skydio drone, as you can see here, with the beacon that I'm using, I can control the distance that it is from me. I can also control the angle. Think of it like a clock or a watch. I can set it for 12 o'clock, which would be in front of me. I can set it at the 3 o'clock, which it would be to my right. I can set it at 5 o'clock, which is kind of where it's at right now. And I can also set it at 6 and do the same for the other side. So I can control the position of the drone as well as the distance. I have it high up in the air so that it's avoiding obstacles. Now I will bring it closer because the trees that are around me on my right hand side are not trees that have small branches and are without leaves. They are trees that are pretty substantial, and the drone can see it from a distance. Now, if you notice, I don't have it on my left side because that's where the wires are. So I try to keep it away from wires. Here you can see me bringing the drone in closer. Now, some of you may think it's dangerous, and I'm not going to say it's not. But this road, at the moment, is somewhat desolate. There's no cars behind me, there's no cars in front of me, and very few cars coming head-on. I am in full control in this situation. Now the Skydio 2 that I have is made by one of the very few American companies that make drones. They're out of San Francisco. They also make drones for first responders, firemen, policemen. They make drones for the military, and they also make drones for contractors, both for inspecting buildings, and I know I watched something for roofers to be able to measure a building. So the drone put up in the air can tell you how many square feet the building is, so that you can then order the correct amount of product that you need. Here you can see my Skydio 2. As you can see, underneath is the battery. Now that battery is held on magnetically. It's pretty cool. It doesn't have any clips or anything. A simple magnet is what holds it in place. To the left there you can see the beacon. That's what I said looked like a remote control. The case is an interesting piece because that's what the drone looks for to land. So let me show you how that works. Now, I would like to point out that Skydio currently has the Skydio 2 Plus available. It has some antennas which help with reception and also has remote ID.
Now, to go up, it is looking for that box. That is the most, see that? It's looking for that logo. I'm not doing anything. And it just landed itself.
So I want to show you all particular video that I did right here. This is in the southwest portion of Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Is actually near a small country town called Pembroke. And this is what's called the BDR, for those of you that are familiar with adventure motorcycles and BDR mapped roads. This is the one in Virginia. This is called the Mid-Atlantic BDR. Anyway, the reason I want to show you this video is watch how this drone totally avoids being wrecked by tree branches. And I am going at this rate for two reasons. One is the obvious, there's a lot of gravel, but two is I can't get the drone to go too fast with all these small branches and obstacles in the way. And you're gonna see right here how there's something in the way and it just slows down, turns itself around and avoids that totally. And that's what this drone does to perfection. Okay, let's briefly discuss my next drone, which is a DJI Mavic Pro 2. There is a Mavic Pro 3 out, so mine's is a little dated, but this is, to be honest with you, my favorite drone. Now, why is it my favorite drone? This drone is not for following, but more for showing landscapes and scenery. And it does that great. It is one of the best drones on the market because it's DJI. DJI started the drone craze, if you will. They perfected where the drone can hover steadily and also connected it to GPS. So again, it's steady. And more than that, it knows where it took off from. So if there's an emergency, it knows where to go and land. And it does that automatically. As a matter of fact, when your batteries run low, it will warn you the battery is running low. And it knows at what distance it is to safely return. So it has a brain. It says, hey, I'm running out of battery, and the amount of battery that I have is just enough to get me back to the home point. So I'm turning back whether the pilot wants me to return or not, and it will do it on its own. So again, DJI, great drones. Now, they have a variety of drones. They have the Mini, which I really like. I own the Mini too, and they are currently at the Mini 4, and they have a Mini 4 Pro, and that thing is excellent. They have drones that have zoom, so you can zoom in and out. My drones can't do that, but that is also a neat feature. But what do I use this drone for? Again, I use this for scenery and landscapes. It is not so much a follow me kind of drone. That's not what it does best. What it does best is show you things from way above. And there are some guys that has some awesome channels, and I would say they're mostly adventure motorcycle types. And there's a couple of guys, and I'll put their links down or their channels down in the description so that you guys can check them out. There's some guys that have done the Alps. There's guys that have gone to Iceland, Greenland, Italy. And the videography that they show, the landscapes are just spectacular. They're out of this world, really. So there is quite a few guys that's what they do. And drone is so much a part of what they do. Now, I will be the first one to admit, I do not have much knowledge on shutter speed, white balance, ISO, and all that fancy stuff that all the cameras do. I usually just put it on auto and let it rip. Now, there are some where I adjust if it's a sunny day or a cloudy day, such as with the drone. The DJI drone gives you those options, and it's really helpful. If you are knowledgeable in that department, you're going to have some really good video. Unlike me, I'm doing some color grading, trying to get the white balance to darken a little bit because it might be too bright. But those guys that I'm talking about, and you'll find them in the description, they have all of that under control. They make really beautiful videos with drones included. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out with a drone is when you make a video and you have some drone footage, the drone footage is probably 2% of the entire video. I try to keep my videos under 30 minutes. It doesn't always work. I can have 25 minutes of drone footage and I only use probably 2 minutes. Because it is not something that, unlike a action video, which you're riding and constantly the scenery is changing, on a drone, the footage that you're seeing, the landscape, the scenery remains pretty constant. So it's hard to have somebody watch that for more than 30 seconds. Okay, let me show you my Mavic Pro 2. This is it right here, and I also have the Pro controller. Many of these drones can be used with your phone, with your smartphone as a screen. And then it has a controller that you connect to your phone. This controller that I have is 100% made for controlling the drone. The screen is super bright, and I don't have to use my phone. Now, here's the camera, and one of the best things this drone has is its gimbal. No matter what position you have the drone in, or how you move it left to right, forward to back, the video is going to come out nice and smooth. Every once in a while you do get a bump. Now, I will say, I've had quite a few drones. I want to say I've had 4. I started out with a cheapy drone, which kind of taught me the ropes and how to fly. And then from there, I went to the DJI Mavic Mini. Really good drone. From there, I graduated to the Skydio, which a Skydio, you really don't fly. It just follows you. And then I purchased this drone and have had it ever since. And I've owned this drone for about 2-3 years now, maybe. And I really like it. It's a quality drone. I don't have many negative things to say about it. If I had to say something negative about it, it would be, it is a little heavy, but it's not a big deal. And the batteries last only 20 minutes. A lot of the modern drones are over the 30-minute mark these days. So that would be something that the newer drones are better at. Oh, and one more thing. The zoom feature the new drones have. That would be excellent. Okay, so what you're looking at here is my GoPro 12. Now, I have a GoPro 12 as well as a GoPro 10 and a GoPro 8. I no longer use the GoPro 8. The battery life on it is terrible. Also, that camera overheats after about 30 minutes because I sometimes plug it in so that I have constant power. A lot of times I'll use a power pack or whatever you want to call it, a battery backup that I can plug right into the camera, but the camera will either freeze up. It just doesn't work well. The 10 works a lot better, and that's what I'm using right now to record, and the 12 is the one that you're looking at. Now, both my GoPro 10 and my GoPro 12 have the mod lens. What does the mod lens do? The mod lens makes to where the horizon is always level. So no matter how this camera turns and you're on a motorcycle taking curves, the horizon will always stay straight. So that's one of the features. The other thing is it gives you a wider angle and it helps with stabilization. It has a lot of good features. Now, the other thing that this camera has, both of my cameras have, is a media mod. And the media mod is the case with the microphone that you're looking at. Now, the other part to that is in the back. Okay, I got some light so that we can see what we're talking about here. So, the media mod comes with the mic and the windsock on it. So on windy days, and especially on a motorcycle, this helps a lot. The other thing is, it comes with ports for, that's your mic port right there. And this is waterproof somewhat. That's your charging port. And the last one is for an external larger monitor, which I sometimes use. And that's what that port is for. So the media mod, excellent. Now, the other feature that this camera has, and maybe you saw it on my video, is I keep it on my handlebars. This is a GoPro handle, but it's also a battery. And because of this, I can use the GoPro pretty much all day without having to switch out batteries. I just plug it in, and that's what that is right there, and it's good to go. It has a mini tripod, so if need be, you can stand it up, put it on a table or whatever, and just let it do its thing. That's what you're looking at right there. And it also has this GoPro mount apparatus, and I purchased this quick connect, and I have the female part on my handlebar, so I can just connect it to my handlebar, spin it, and it's good to go there. When I need to use the camera as I'm riding, I press a little button with my index finger, I spin this off, pull it out, and I use it like that. So that is my GoPro. This is the camera I use the most. Again, I have the GoPro 12 and the GoPro 10. Here you can see my Insta 360 camera, and this is my go-to for great shots that I've already shown you. Well, what is your favorite piece of equipment of everything that I have shown you? Is it the Skydio drone, the DJI Mavic? Is it the Insta, which I think would probably be the winner? The Insta 360 camera, which is what you're looking at right now? Or also the GoPro cameras? Those are pretty neat. Now, if I take the case off, they are fully 100% waterproof. You can actually jump in the water. I think it's up to 3 feet. I can't remember how deep you can go. But people who do snorkeling and things like that use them underwater. You can use them in the rain. They have so many advantages, these action cameras. And also, if you know how to adjust the ISO and the aperture and all that stuff, they do really well at night. There are some videos that describe exactly what settings to go to and change so that they can work in low light, and they do a great job. So go ahead and write in the comments which is your favorite piece of equipment. Now, I would like to let you know that I answer each and every message I get. I never let anybody hang, and if you write a message, I am there and I'm gonna answer it. So if you have any questions about anything that you saw today, feel free to ask away. With that being said, I hope that you are subscribed. Are you subscribed? As they say, it's free. Have you liked the video? That would really help me out. Anyway, with all that being said, I hope that you liked the video. I hope that the effort I put forth to show you all the great equipment that we use to make these YouTube videos is to your liking. Well, until next week when I will post up another video as usual, you all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads, and I will catch you on the next one. Adios.